What is up, Hexicans and Pulsinators? Welcome back to another video. An update on the mid-May launch, what you could potentially do once Pulsechain comes out. I'm going to go over a few different profit money-making strategies, some general updates, some relevant tweets that I found, and just a lot of good information. As always, if you want to support the channel, hit the like button. You always can undo it if something I say you don't like, but it really does support. So let's just get into it. Right now, Bitcoin isn't really doing much. And Hex has had a great past 2 days. The past 6 months, Hex has generally been following the other cryptos, which in the past, before that, it was kind of a little bit decorrelated. It was pumping when Bitcoin would go down and Hex would go down when Bitcoin would go up. We've had a great few 2 days. And at this point, if we can make a new higher high above 15 cents, I think we could potentially be seeing something like the PulseX sacrifice, where if you remember in December when the PulseX sacrifice started, that's when we had this crazy run up. Okay, so shout out to Hex McKenzie for making this graphic. How high can PulseX go? I just want to bring your attention to this. PulseX is a decentralized exchange. So they have Uniswap 1inch and about 6 other decentralized exchanges. And PulseX is different than these when it comes to its game theory, its tokenomics, it's deflationary buy and burn, but it is a decentralized exchange like these, so we can deduce some comparison from it. Uniswap did a 100x in 229 days. Uniswap, when Uniswap as a protocol was created, the token wasn't even there. The token was kind of just duct taped on to just get more money essentially, but you don't even need to use the Uni token for anything. Had great performance. Some of these like Rune, did a 2000x in 2 years, right? So PulseX has massive potential, and a lot of people are wondering, should I ratio swap before the bridge? I'm not recommending people do that because you don't know how Pulsechain is going to perform. You don't know how PulseX is going to perform. And yeah, you could risk it and potentially get some profits in those first 2 days ratio trading, but you could also wreck yourself. If you're already holding PulseX, I think you're going to be in a good situation a year from launch, 6 months from launch. So I wouldn't want to ruin my bags that way. And then some TA, before I move on from Hex, this guy, Mitch Ray, he did an interview with Richard Hart almost a year ago, 6 months ago. I like watching his live streams on YouTube. Of course, he has a paid course. This is not a promotion at all. But he just like will go over technical analysis, and I learned a lot about harmonics. And I'm not recommending anyone should trade. I was trying to learn how to trade. Didn't go too well. But I do respect his analysis, and he makes some good points, and he makes a really bullish case for Hex right now. So I just want to share this with you.
If this plays out, dude, this is like, I don't even know what to tell you, man. It can't get better than this. It just doesn't, chat. You mean to tell me an asset fell below critical ice line and then rallied well and then sold off again and then back tested it with a higher low, a confirmation low that is higher than the previous low, signifying accumulation is now here, and there's hidden bullish divergence going on in the oscillator? Dude, unreal. Lowest risk entry area you could ever get on an asset. These are the things you look for. It doesn't matter if you're looking crypto, if you're looking at commodities, if you're looking at stocks. It doesn't. Forex pairs, this is the same formula, man. It's universal. You find this anywhere. It's amazing. So someone like, let all the moon boys, the Hexagon moon boys, and Richard Schuler know. We talked about this. The market participants must defend this level, otherwise there's 40+% downside. I mean, you're going to like 7 cents. You don't hold this. The good news is you're confirming that you've held this. This is confirming that it's holding, and there's now more.
Well, Hex Moon Boys will be back. You heard it here first, and we're even pumping while I'm making this video. We're defending for the 3rd time throughout the Hex price chart history this critical level around 11 cents. A lot of people wonder, could Hex go down more? Yeah, you could see another 40% dip if we don't hold this support. But we held the support once here. We dipped under, made a higher low, and then retested it 3 times. So yeah, Hex could still go down, but with Pulsechain coming out in potentially 2 weeks, guys, that's crazy to say. That gets me so excited. And that's why you need to hear these profit-taking strategies at the end about how to make money on the testnet, because you can practice on the testnet right now, and a lot of people are confused with that. check this out. Another great tweet from Hex McKenzie. Unfortunately, only 1% of the newbies understand that 13-cent Hex is an opportunity of a lifetime. Definitely follow them on Twitter. My Twitter's in the video description below as well. I love talking to Hexicans on Twitter, so if you use Twitter, follow me. Links below. The T-share rate. This weird thing in the graph right here is big payday. That was a one-time event. It's never going to happen again. But you see the T-share rate, the mathematics of it is designed to always go up in Hex terms. You look at the graph of the total amount of stakers. We're still growing. There's still more stakers. And as this ecosystem grows, we only have 100,000, not even it's like 90,000, almost 100,000 stakers. There's tokens that have millions of people, right? Imagine once we have 10 times as many stakers. 10 times as many stakers, if we look at Metcalfe's law, the value of a network is proportionate to the square of its users. So if we 10 times the users of Hex, that 100x the price, who knows? But massive potential here. Never been a better time to get into Hex. It's still pumping. And on days like this, when the whole market's down, whole market's not doing much, and Hex goes crazy, that's when it gets a lot of eyes, because it'll be on all these bots and all these ranking sites as the top performer of the day. And some people might look at that and say, what's this Hex thing? How is it pumping when Bitcoin's doing nothing? I thought altcoins couldn't pump unless Bitcoin went up. Yeah, Hex is a different breed, right? Shout out to Hart's Law at USDC liquidity. Moving on. So Richard came out a few weeks ago. He said mid-May. Came out yesterday. Mid-May is still the target. He's doubling down. The automated market maker bot is working. The SAC balances look great. And he said most SAC complaints are user error. So great stuff. He also follows it up with, you all should be practicing on testnet so you know what you're going to do in launch day, right? Great point. And I'm going to show you what I'll be doing on testnet at the end, and just give you some ideas of what you could potentially do. Now, the thing with Pulsechain and PulseX is the gains will be there, but how early are you going to sell? And I thought this was a good tweet here from Yakub, the Hex and Pulsechain ambassador. I like that. He says, I am not selling any of my Hex principal, meaning you only sell what you get from staking. I'm not selling any of my PLS before $1 or PLSX before $1. And then Hedron, which I wouldn't put Hedron in the same category as these, but who knows? Hedron could have a great next 2 years. We really don't know. The battle with getting a 100x or potentially 1000x, and why Hex is so good, is because Hex makes you lock up your tokens. So when you have crazy gains, there's people with multi-million-dollar portfolios locked up for 15 years. They can't touch it. If they had access to those multi-millions today, they might be able to take profits. They surely would be tempted. Who wouldn't be tempted to sell potentially multi-million dollars of some assets, especially if you didn't have that kind of money before, right? But in this space, when you have crazy gains, there's people that sold Hex on a 4 or 5x, and they maybe made $80,000, and that could have been $8 million now. So the battle in crypto is how early or how late can you sell? No one who had Bitcoin at a penny has their whole stack today. They might have some left, but the amount of FOMO between the people that sold Bitcoin before a 5 million X is crazy. And that's going to be very similar, I think, in the Pulsechain. An update on the buy and burn. Look at this. In the last 24 hours on the testnet, 675 million PLSX was burned, right? What does that mean it's burned? It's taken out of the supply. Economics 101. If demand stays steady or increases and supply goes down, price goes up to the right. The buy and burn was executed 5,430 times, and this is just 24 hours, guys. Absolutely crazy stuff to see, and it's only going to do wonders for the price appreciation. Shout out to Sam Stolten, Jim Rat Crypto. I saw this on the Hex in the Morning show a few days ago. They did a Google Trend search of Pulsechain and PulseX. These are the red and yellow lines. And then Uniswap. Uniswap is massive, one of the biggest D apps on Ethereum. It's been around for years now. And look at the search volume for Pulsechain and PulseX. In some cases, it's surpassed Uniswap. And this product isn't even out yet, right? A lot of people, especially on YouTube, you're starting to see more and more people talking about Pulsechain and PulseX, and the Google trends don't lie. People are searching for this, and a lot of these people probably weren't even sacrificers. They're just now hearing about it later. And once these floodgates open and the product's live, these are going to be people that are going to want to get in most likely. Now, what should you be doing once Pulsechain comes out? This is not Richard Hart affiliated at all. It's called freepulse.io. The people that made the logos for Pulsechain and PulseX, the people that made those logos came up with Free Pulse. Essentially, it's a faucet where every hour you can claim some free PLS tokens. So even if you didn't get any tokens, every hour, like the last hour, you essentially roll a number between 1 and 10,000. And based off what number you get, you can potentially be 1 out of 10,000 people will get 1.5 million PLS, which at these prices would be $200. And this is every hour. So shout out to them for putting up their own money to onboard people. One of the best ways to onboard people to crypto is giving it to them for free, but very rarely does that happen. I have a bunch of PLS, a bunch of PLSX. I'm going to be on this site as long as I'm on my computer. You got to keep in mind, you might only be getting a few pennies worth, right? But say this does 1,000x, those pennies are now lots of dollars, okay? So you got to think long-term with this. This site's going to be amazing just for free tokens. Now, what can you do with your PLS exactly? You can validate it. So I'm on the testnet right now. I'll put the testnet link in the video description below if you do want to just look at the testnet. But here we have all the delegators. David Federer's the top one. We have HODL right here. And essentially, these people are running servers for the Pulsechain network to function. So there's 33 of them. And essentially, you could choose to, I don't have much TPLS. I only have 0.02. But say that's all you do have. I can't even stake it right now because I don't have the minimum amount of tokens. But once the tokens come out, you'll be able to stake your PLS tokens, and David Federer will take 31%, and all the delegators will get 70% of that revenue share. So every transaction, like in Ethereum, when you pay that Ethereum fee, it goes to the miners of Ethereum. In Pulsechain, when you pay that Pulsechain fee, it goes to the delegators. All right, so I don't know how much money, what percent interest or APY you'll be able to earn doing this, but this is one thing you'll be able to do with your PLS. Very low risk, and it's a way to just get more tokens, okay? This is one of the more low risk things, I would say. PLSX. So in PLSX, we have these things called farms, right? In the real world, you farm crops, and crops have value. In crypto, what it means to be a farmer is to farm yield. So you could pick any one of these pairs. Say we do PLSX and PLS, and you put up equal portions of both pairs. So say you put up $10,000 of PLSX, $10,000 of PLS. Every time there's trades done on that pair, where someone's swapping PLSX for PLS or vice versa, you will earn a portion of the fees on that pair. So right now, this is the testnet, but the APR is 700%. I don't think it will be that high when it goes live, but you never know. And you can actually right now, the current wallet I'm using doesn't have sacrifice balances, but you could practice staking on the testnet. And it's not out yet, so you're not actually losing any money. So if you've never done farming before, try it out right now on the testnet, because once this does go live, you can lose money doing this. It's called impermanent loss. Google it. And I wouldn't recommend doing it if you've never done it before. And since there's a testnet right now with fake money, you could just experiment and see how it works. So I definitely recommend you do that if you haven't already. But if you don't want to do that, the more low risk option is you can stake. Where is it? You can stake your PLSX. So you don't even necessarily have to do the pairing thing. Tools finished here. So this one's over, but you can stake your PLSX. You don't need a pair. Just stake your PLSX, kind of like Hex, but you don't have to time lock it, and you'll earn PRT. Okay. We don't know what the value of this will be, but this is a less risky option than just farming. Yield farming, you can make more, but you also have potential to lose money on the PLSX pool. You if PLSX goes down in price, you could lose money, but the amount of PLSX tokens you have is only going to go up. There's no potential downside of losing your tokens on the single-sided farm. And the question I want to end it with, in life, whether you chase money, cars, women, you always will want more. You always want a hotter woman. You always want more money. You always want more cars. That's why people become, they become worth 100 million and then they want to become a billionaire. And then 1 billion is not enough. Now you want 10 billion. In life, humans are greedy. We never are really satisfied. And this tweet says, what is your ideal money for you to retire? Inflation's been kind of crazy in this wild global economy we have. I'm curious what the answer is here. Let's say 5 to 10 million. You could live off 5 to 10 million for the rest of your life. But what is your exit point? Where is your end game here? Because if you don't have one, then you're never going to want to sell or take profits. And it's important to have a plan around like, okay, this is when I should exit. Maybe solidify some things in the real world. If you don't have real estate, things like that. So comment below, what's your ideal money that you need to retire? That's all I got. If you enjoyed this video, I appreciate you. Make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new, and tap the bell next to the subscribe button. Otherwise, YouTube will never notify you when I upload. If you don't want notifications when I upload, you don't like my videos, which if you watch till the end, you probably do, right? Don't hit the bell. But if you want notifications, smack that bell. And follow me on Twitter, all right? Little House on the Pulse Chain. All right, God bless you all. Have a great week. Until next time.